Welcome back to Plan Life Right, a podcast where we don't just talk about finance, we talk about life plan. Because when your money is right, everything else gets. I'm Kevin Ross, and I've spent over 30 years helping people retire with confidence, not anxiety.
And I'm Matt Floyd, Kevin's co-host with 15 years in banking. I'm here to ask the questions you're thinking, keep Kevin honest, and make sure we translate this into real life.
Today, Matt, I'm going to tell you about one saved 800,000, the other 500. Which one feels more secure?
I'd say the one with $800,000, obviously.
Wrong. Dead wrong.
Oh,
That's the problem with how almost every retiree thinks about money. A person with 500,000 sleeps like a baby, travels, spends on her grandkids, never checks her. A person with 800,000 checks his balance every single day. Agonize over every purchase. Came to my office. Never forget this. I have 800,000. I feel broke. How is this possible?
how is that possible?
Because retirement isn't about the size of your balance, it's about the size of your income. Most people spend their entire working life obsessed with the wrong number. They were fixing it. I'm Kevin Ross. He's Matt Floyd. Welcome. Right. Where we show you what Wall Street will. By the end of this episode, never look at retirement account the same way again.
All right, Kevin, let's dig into this. Why does a big account balance feel small when you're actually living on it?
Because what I call the balance trap, and one of the most destructive psychological patterns I've seen in retirement. So for 30, 40 years, you're in this accumulation mode.
Mhm.
Every paycheck, money goes into your 401k. Every quarter, your statement shows the balance going. Your entire financial identity is built around that number growing. Then you retire, and suddenly the number starts going. Now you're taking money out instead of putting money in.
And that feels wrong.
Feels terrifying. And even if you're only withdrawing 3 or 4%, which is totally sustainable, it feels like you're bleeding out. Every withdrawal feels like. Here's the analogy I like to use. You have a pile of cash in your basement, constantly worried about it. Don't know how. Every time you take some out, the pile gets smaller. Nervous. You have a paycheck, guaranteed paycheck. That shows up every month for the rest of your life. Plan, spend.
So the pile shrinks, but the paycheck doesn't.
Exactly. That's the entire psychology behind income structure retirement versus balance dependent retirement. Okay.
Mhm.
When you're working, wealth is measured by your net worth. But when you retire, wealth is measured by cash flow. Not how much you have, how much you can spend without running out.
So let's talk about Michael. He's got $800,000. He needs $50,000 a year and gets $18,000 from Social Security. That means he's pulling $32,000 from his portfolio. That's that old 4% rule. That should work, right?
On paper, yeah. But here's exactly this is what actually happened. Year one, the market drops 15%. His 800,000 is now 680,000. He still needs $32,000 to live on. So he takes it out. Now he has 148,000. Year two, the market's flat. Takes out another 32,000. Now he's at 616,000.
So in 2 years, he's gone from 800 to 616.
He's only spent 64,000 of that. The other 120 was market loss. It doesn't have to be that way. All he sees is his balance drop nearly 25% in 2 years, and now he's convinced he's going.
So even though his withdrawal rate is fine,
Even though everything on paper is fine, has no guaranteed income.
okay.
Every withdrawal feels like a step closer to disaster. That's the balance trap. Only way out of it, what Patricia did.
All right. So Patricia, she's the one with $500,000. The one that I said wasn't probably going to live a
That's
very
right.
comfortable retirement. She needs $45,000 a year. She has no pension and she's completely at ease. What did she do?
3 moves, each one intentional. I'm going to walk you through them. Step 1, delay Social Security to age 70.
Right.
Patricia's full retirement age benefit at 67 with $20,000 a year. She waits until 70, that benefit grows to $24,000. 20% permanent increase, guaranteed for life, inflation adjusted every year. Not a market bet. That's a math backed by the federal government.
But she had to wait 6 years without Social Security income. So how did she bridge that gap?
That's exactly the right question. Learning, young grasshopper. Here's the structure I think so perfect. You allocate $250,000 into an indexed annuity with a guaranteed income rider. This annuity pays her $17,000 a year. It starts at it's guaranteed for life, regardless of what happens to the market, regardless of how long she lives. It doesn't matter if she makes it to 80 or 100. That's $17,000 that shows up each year. It's her bridge income, Social Security growth, income foundation after Social Security starts.
So she's got $17,000 from the annuity now and $24,000 from Social Security starting at 70. That's $41,000 a year guaranteed.
Exactly. It only needs $45,000 to live. Her guaranteed income covers over 90% of her entire lifestyle. Think about what that does to her psychology, right?
Yeah.
Psychologically. Even if she's never touched another investment account, her life is funded.
Right.
So then we divide the remaining $250,000 into 2 buckets. $100,000 went into the now money cash, CDs, money markets, short-term investments, her emergency fund. She needs a new roof, wants to help a grandkid, or has an unexpected expense, she can pull from there. This money gives her flexibility without touching her income. Other $150,000 went into later money. That's the growth stocks, index fund. He doesn't touch it. Fights inflation for the next 20 years. Her legacy.
So she's living on guaranteed income. She's got cash for flexibility and life's challenges. And she's got growth for the future. And she has $300,000 starting less than Michael.
And she never checks her balance. When the market dropped 20% in 2022, Patricia didn't care. Her annuity income didn't change. Her Social Security didn't change. Her $100,000 in cash didn't change. The only thing that moved was her $150,000 in her growth portfolio. She doesn't touch that anyway.
So she has less money, but more certainty.
Certainty is what lets you actually live in retirement.
Right.
Not watch it, balance it in a vanity. Income is a survival.
Okay, so Michael's situation, $800,000, no income structure, checking his balance every day. What'd you do for him?
So we rebuilt it from the ground up. So, we took a starting point before the restructure. Total savings, $800,000, $650 in an IRA, $150 in a broker. Social Security claimed at 62, $18,000 a year, no pension. Annual income needs annual income needs $50,000. Annual portfolio withdrawal needed $32,000, 4%. Guaranteed income as percentage of need, 36% exposed on every dollar. So the problem is visible right there. 36% of his income guaranteed. The other 64% depends on a portfolio he's watching swing every day.
Yeah, that's not a sleep at night.
Yeah, not at all. So here's how we restructured it. Bucket 1, now money, $160 cash, CDs, short-term, treasuries. Roughly 3 years of his $50,000 annual. 100% liquid, 100% safe. Market crashes tomorrow. Michael doesn't care. He's got 3 years of a living expense that have nothing to do with the stock market.
Right.
Then you got the soon money. That's $400,000 into an index annuity that we took that 400,000 structured into an indexed annuity with a guaranteed lifetime income rider. But age 66, her annuity turns on at $28,000 a year for the rest of her life. Guaranteed and it includes an income doubler rider. So if she needs long-term care, at 28,000, 56,000 for as long as she. This is a bond. This is a bond replacement that we discussed in 50, right? Everything bonds were supposed to do: stability, income, safety, without the interest rate risk or the 2020. And then, of course, we got that later money, right? 240,000 in a growth portfolio with index funds, dividend-paying stocks, some international exposure, real estate exposure. Michael doesn't touch this now for the next 20 to 30 years. It fights inflation, it builds his legacy. Here's the beautiful part. With his guaranteed income covering his lifestyle, he may never need to touch that bucket at all.
Right, that's the goal. So what does Michael's income look like now?
So right now he's 64. The annuity doesn't turn on until 66. So for 2 years, he lives off his now money. Then at 66, the annuity kicks in. Social Security, 18,000 plus annuity, 28,000 equals 46,000 gear. Only needs to pull $4,000 a year from his. That's the one.
Yeah, that's nothing. You can live on the 1%
Practically nothing. Yeah, you can. That one won't run. But here's the move that changes everything for.
No, what's that?
66, once the annuity covering his lifestyle, we're going to have him suspend his Social Security and let it grow to 70.
Wait, you can do that?
He's already claimed at 62. And most people have no idea this option exists. So if you claim Social Security early, change your mind, you can spend it one time, let it grow again. People don't know, it's not widely advertised, but it's real, it's powerful. So he suspends his 18,000 benefit, 60 grows for 4 more years. And at 70, instead of 18, he's collecting $6,000 more. Guaranteed inflation adjusted. Goes to 90, 120,000 in additional lifetime income just from that one.
And what is his final income picture at age 70 now?
After the restructure, Social Security suspended and grown to 70, $24,000 a year.
Okay.
Indexed annuity income, $28,000. Total guaranteed income, $52,000 a year. Annual income needed, $50,000.
Yeah, so he's living below his means at this point.
That's right.
And it's guaranteed means.
So his portfolio withdrawal required no guaranteed income. Guaranteed income exceeds needs. Later money bucket status 240 and it's compounded.
Right. So that guaranteed income exceeding the lifestyle, he never has to touch that later money bucket.
Not a penny. At 240 just grows year after year for the rest. His inflation hedge. It's long-term care reserve and his legacy. And Michael, and who had 800, who felt broke, now has 800,000 structured and feels wealthy. Same money.
All right, let's talk about Social Security timing directly, because I think this is one of the most expensive decisions that most people get wrong.
Yeah, it's most people make it based on emotion, not math. We talked about that.
Yep.
Let's say your full retirement age benefit, what you did at 67 is $2,000 a month, $24,000 a year, 3 claiming ages, 3 different outcomes. Claiming age, lifetime age at age 90. Tickets early, 62 at 17 years, $476,000 at 67 full retirement age, $24,000 a year. It's $2,000. At age 70, maximum $30,000 a year, $600. Difference 62 to 70 is $13,000 a year more, $124,000 over the lifetime of that.
So the difference between claiming at 62 versus kicking that can down the road until age 70 is $13,000 a year, every year for the rest of your life.
Every year, inflation adjusted, backed by the federal government. And in Michael's specific case, going from 18 to 24 by spending, let it grow. That's 6,000 more. 25 years, that's 150 additional income. That's conservative version. That math.
And I already know the objection. But what if I die at 72? Then I lose all that money just waiting.
And here's my response. Social Security isn't an investment, it's longevity.
Right.
Purpose of Social Security isn't to maximize total dollars you receive over your lifetime. Purpose is to make sure that you have guaranteed income till you die. So if you die at 72, you didn't need longevity insurance. You had plenty of money to cover your retirement. If you lived to 90, that extra $13,000 a year for 20 years is $260,000 guaranteed, inflation adjusted. It's unfathomable.
Yeah. And in Michael's case, going from 18,000 to 24,000 by suspending at 66, that alone over 25 years, $150,000.
One decision made at 66, $150,000 in addition. That's why I call it the $220,000, because across all the clients I've run in math for, lifetime value difference, claiming early, and optimizing the timing average out somewhere in that range, sometimes more.
Yeah, and most people make the decision in about 10 minutes
Yep.
without ever running any numbers.
Because nobody sat down with them and showed them what it actually cost. That's the conversation that changes retirement.
So how does Social Security timing connect back to the 3-bucket strategy?
Well, I think perfectly. Use your now money bucket to bridge the gap. Live on that while you delay Social Security and let it grow. You use your soon money to create guaranteed income during the waiting year, so you're not pulling from portfolio. And you let your Social Security become the biggest annuity you'll ever own. So when you look at it that way, it's not a question of when do I claim? How do I structure everything else so I can afford to wait?
And that's the reframe.
That's the whole thing. Balance is the noise. Income is the signal. Social Security, optimized correctly, is the loudest signal in the room. All right, if you're sitting here with money saved and you're still asking yourself, can I afford this? Every time you spend, you don't have a balance problem. You have an income structure problem. Here's the good news. It's fixable. Go to planliferight.com. Download your free retirement income. We'll answer 8 simple questions about your age, savings, your income sources, and your spend needs. We'll calculate your income security score on a 0 to 100 scale. Then we're going to show you exactly how much guaranteed monthly income your current assets can generate using the 3-bucket strategy. Now money number, how much you should have in cash, how long it covers. Soon money allocation, how much go into a guaranteed income product, which riders make sense in a particular situation. And your ladder money, the growth plan, how much stays invested for total guaranteed income for the paycheck you can't outlive, including what happens. 5th, Social Security optimization, the lifetime value of 62, 67. It's a free assessment, no cost, there's no obligation. Will change how you think about retirement, because you can have $1 million if half secure. Difference structure. PlanLifeRight.com. Download your retirement income for today.
And if Michael's story is your story, if you've got savings and you're still anxious every time the market moves, this is your starting point. Kevin, what about the advisors out there listening?
All right, so here's the brutal truth, and I got it straight. Your clients are asking, how much do I have, and showing them account statements. But what they really want to know is, how much can I spend without going?
Yeah, how long do I have? Should
Right.
be the question. It's not how much do I have.
And you're not answering that question. The advisor who wins over the next decade are the ones who shift the conversation from balanced projections to guaranteed income. So 58, 60, 62, before the client retires and panics, not after they're already checking their balances.
Right.
So for the advisor, go to advisorrescue.net, schedule your strategy call, and here's what you're going to get. White label retirement income score. Client answers 8 questions, walks out with a personalized income structure plan. Use it every pre-retirement review. Bucket allocation software. Shows clients there, now, soon, later money. Real time, guaranteed income. Projections. Social Security timing calculator. Models a lifetime income between claiming at 62, 67, and 70 for a client. For your annuity product comparisons, which carriers, which income riders, which payout rates, how position the income doubler. Word for word scripts to reposition balance focus into income structure where they find out. This is the conversation your clients, your current advisor, advisorrescue.net. Schedule your call. Be the advisor who starts it.
Yeah, the advisors who win are the ones who show clients their income number before they ever even ask about it.
That's Michael and Patricia's story. Same era, same financial landscape. Person checks his balance every day. Broke. Other never worries. Feels well. Difference wasn't luck. It wasn't income. It was structure. Stop counting your balance. Start counting your income.
Next week, we're tackling long-term care, the expense nobody wants to plan for, and why the income doubler riders that we talked about today might eliminate the need for a traditional long-term care policy entirely. You definitely don't want to miss that one.
Life happens fast.
Make sure your income is ready for it.
I'm Kevin Ross.
And I'm Matt Floyd.
This is Plan Life Right.